What's up, guys? Dad Dash Industries back here again. We're doing a dinner time vlog slash ride along. We're going to go 5:30 to 7:30 tonight, 2 hours. See if we can make at least $50 or more. Of course, I'd ideally love to make $100. That would be awesome. But we're only setting it up for 2 hours, and then I've got to head back to the home front. So let's see what we can do tonight with a 2-hour shift. I am on line already with Grub Hub and Uber Eats, and then I'm going to be getting online with DoorDash as soon as I get into the market. I did set myself up for a 5:30 to 9 shift on DoorDash just to make sure, in case I ran a little over or something like that, that I would be in a position to take advantage without any problem or disruption. But the plan right now is 5:30 to 7:30, so we will be back here shortly as soon as I get into the market and get my first order. All right, guys, talk to you in a minute. What's up, guys? Wanted to just drop in here real quick while I'm riding into my market and you're waiting for us to get started, just to ask you guys real quick to please subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Like I said, it's a small channel, but a growing channel, trying to grow this thing, trying to grow a community here and contribute to the community that already exists, and just create an area for people to come to that can see a real life delivery driver gig experience, and a place for new drivers to come, current drivers to come, a place that we can all share. My name is Steve. I entered the gig economy about 4 months ago, just crossed the 1,000 delivery mark a couple of weeks back, so real proud of that accomplishment. So I've got some experience to add. I am going to do a video on reflections of the first 1,000, so be on the lookout for that. And guys, like I said, just wanted to just jump on here really quick while I'm riding into my market and ask you to please take this quick moment right now while we're getting ready and getting started for today to please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video if you can with anyone that you think it might be helpful to, or you want to show exactly what this looks like, what we do, etc., etc. All right, guys, I'm going to jump back out here, and I will see you in just a couple of minutes once we get our first order. All right, guys, back here, got my first order. Got a couple of offers before, but I got my first order. It's $11.82 going 11 miles. Now, just to put these 11 miles in context, it's all highway miles, and it's going to a Chinese restaurant that does a really good job of getting orders to me fast. And then I'm literally going straight up, getting right off the interstate, delivering the order, and then I'll be right back in a good place to get more orders. So I think this should be a pretty good order. And it is at least $1 a mile. It is at the start of dinner, so hopefully this is the first of a couple that we're going to get. So I'm going to go pick this order up. I'll be back once I've got the order in the car just to update you on how everything went, see if it goes as quick as I think it will, and hopefully we can get a follow-up order relatively quickly. All right, guys, talk to you. All right, guys, so a little bit of an update. I started to drive. I started to take a look at the order there, and I realized that it was going to a place that I was not comfortable going to, so I had to reject that order. It's a hotel, motel, whatever, that I just do not like to go into. I don't feel it's a really safe area. I kind of recognized the name because I'd gone there once before, and I went in and said, oh, no, not going to go there. I got another offer. I didn't like it. It was taking me into another state from Grub Hub, so just got a $2.25 offer from Outback, so I'm sitting over here now in another position, hoping to get some sort of an order here very quickly, very soon. So sometimes you just have to make a safety-related judgment call, and that's what I had to do here. All right, guys, I will talk to you in a minute here once I get another order, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, talk to you in a minute. All right, guys, so I'm back, kind of an all-over-the-place day here, getting this first order out the door. It's quite busy again tonight, so I'm getting a lot of activity, but I got a $9 offer from Outback going one particular direction. So I accepted it. Of course, you can't see with, item count numbers or anything like that with Uber Eats, but I accepted it for $9.06 going like 7 miles. So then I got, I turned off the DoorDash app and I started to turn off Grub Hub, but Grub Hub wouldn't turn off because my cell phone signal was weak. So I had to wait for a little bit, and as I was trying to turn the app off, Grub Hub sends me a $14.96 order from a Chinese restaurant that's going to a very nice area, putting me in a great position, and it was only for 8 miles, 8.1 miles. So I could not turn that down. So I canceled out the Uber Eats order. As I checked it, it was just for a steak, one steak. So I knew there probably wasn't a strong chance that there was going to be a lot of additional tip. So I canceled it, and then moved on to Grub Hub. So one of the things, you got to be careful, doing that a lot, especially because they don't show you on Uber, and Grub Hub does not show you your cancellation rate. But just be aware, you can get in trouble for canceling too many. Although they do give you, Uber kind of bases it on the area and other drivers' cancellation rate. And you will get a warning email for both, but you've got to heed that warning and make sure that you don't, do that too excessively. I always try to turn the apps off relatively quickly because I don't want to be tempted. And in this case, like I said, the app would not disarm, so it fired one at me, and here we go. But this is a much better situation. $14 to start it out with, much better than the original one I was going to do. So ultimately, I think it just shows that you got to have patience, especially when you're dealing with Grub Hub. I've still sometimes pulled the trigger, I think, a little too soon, and sometimes for not as good of an order as I could if I would just have some patience and wait, because I'm just eager to get going, eager to get an order going, and then sometimes I don't spend my time getting compensated as wisely. So little pro tip there, be patient, wait, make sure you stick to your guns, make sure you stick to whatever it is you've determined your business model, is, however many miles, all that stuff. Now, the only downside is this particular restaurant has a large problem with excessive wait time. So we'll see what happens here. I'm really hopeful that I don't get to the restaurant and find out there's a 20-minute wait. And then that $14 order doesn't look so enticing when you spent 20 minutes and then you've got a 28-minute ride, a 18-minute ride ahead of you. Because I think this is going to take me about 15 minutes to get to the drop-off. So we're set. All right, guys, I will talk to you in a minute once I get the food. This time I am going to stick with this order. I've got Uber turned off. I've got DoorDash turned off. There's no chance I'll get another order. I've already vetted the drop-off, so we should be good to go on this one. All right, guys, talk to you in a minute. All right, guys, so I got the order. I did have a little bit of a wait. I had to wait probably about 5 minutes or so. And the order is now secured in my vehicle. And just as I suspected, it's about a 16-minute ride out to the customer's house. So I should be done with this order probably about 6:21, just about 20 minutes shy of my first hour. So I'm hoping to get an order right away. That's going to be key right now to the success of this evening, I think. I am in a position that there are going to be orders available. The only question will be whether or not they'll be worth their time. Now, I am working for Grub Hub right now. So Grub Hub has been known when it gets busy, especially at dinner time, to stack on another order relatively quickly right after the drop-off. I'm going to fire up Uber. I'm going to fire up DoorDash right as I'm about a minute or so away from the drop-off to give those an opportunity to start shooting some offers at me. So hopefully we will find an offer quickly. That's going to be key, and we're going to take it from there. So, all right, guys, I will be back once I get this drop-off done. Hopefully when I'm back, I'll be telling you about the next order and recapping how everything went on this order. So that's what we can hope for. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, guys, back, just dropped off the order. Went very smooth, dropped it off, no problems whatsoever. I did turn on Uber and DoorDash as I got closer there, and now, of course, Grub Hub is all fired up. So I'm going to start making my way back towards the original shopping center. I've kind of made a commitment here that my approach from now on is going to be going back to what I call my center of gravity. And I'm going to make my way back and hopefully get orders on my way. And if I plan it out right, I think I should be able to get orders that should eventually, like I said, bring me back to the place that's the best, in my opinion, the best area to get an order, and see how that works out for me. So, and it's also closest to my house when I decide to end my shift. So I'm going to start heading back. I'm going to see if I get any other orders here. Hopefully I do. If not, I'll go back to where I was at, and then I will wait until I get an order. Hopefully I don't have to wait that long. Like I said, that's going to be key right now to making this night work. So I've already got $14.56 on the board. That means we need about $85 or so in order to hit our 100, or like I said, I'd like to make at least $50 or more for the 2 hours that I'm out. So at a minimum, $50 since we're going to be out for 2 hours. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I will talk to you in a moment, and I'll be back if I get an order. All right, guys, I'm back here. Got an order for $10, and I believe $10.62 going 6 miles. I did end up making it all the way back to my original starting spot, and this should actually take me kind of dead center of the town, where I should be in a relatively okay position to get some orders. But if it goes like it's been, then the orders that have been coming in have not been very strong. So I did turn down quite a few orders on my way here. I had a couple that looked okay, but really, honestly, they were just, if it wasn't too small for the miles, that it was the ending position, even though they looked okay miles-wise, where it was going to end me at was going to require me to drive like, another 6 or 8 miles to get back in. Just wasn't going to make sense. So anyways, I'm going to go up here. Hopefully the restaurant that I'm picking up from here, this restaurant notoriously has waits, so we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it won't be too bad. So I'm going to jump in here, see what's going on with my order. I have not gotten the confirmation text yet, so that's never a good sign. So we'll see what happens here. All right, guys, I'll be back in a moment, and I will update you once I get my food. Hey guys, I'm back, and unfortunately it got dark, so when it's dark I don't have the proper lighting to continue filming, so I kind of have to then resort to giving you guys a summary afterwards. So when I left you, we were picking up an order for a Japanese restaurant, and I went and drove and did that order. It was like a $10 order. On my way there, I got an offer from Uber Eats, and I mean, I'm speechless with the generosity that these customers have given me over the last 2 days. I just can't even believe it. But this lady asked me to make sure I got extra lemon for her. I went the extra mile. I talked to the restaurant. I got extra lemon. I showed up with it in a container because they couldn't put it in a box. I said, hey, ma'am, and I had to drop off at a truck stop. I pulled up. She didn't make me get out. I handed her the bag. I handed her the extra lemon. And she went and said, hold on a minute. I said, okay, sure. I was on the phone with my wife because we were trying to work some things out for dinner and what was going to be going on with the rest of the evening. And she come back with a $10 bill and handed it to me. I was just like, thank you, ma'am, so much. I wasn't certain if I was going to get it. There was an $8 tip calculated on it. She ended up going and giving me a $16.32 tip. I can't. On top of the $10, I got a $28 tip. I'm not sure how much this meal was because it was like shrimp on the barbie, lobster tail, like 3 add-ons. I would say maybe $40, maybe $50, and she added a $20-some tip. I couldn't believe it. What an extremely generous person. So I really thank her so much. I sent her a thanks for the tip and everything. And then after that, I got an offer for a order right near my home for Grub Hub, and I took that for $17. And I'm not going to get, I will do a wrap up here of, where I'll get into more stats, but I ended up making $72.13 on $53 worth of offers. I mean, I'm just astounded. Like I said, just unbelievable generosity. I made $32.79 an hour and $37.31 an hour for delivery hours. I mean, that's just unbelievably amazing on 4 orders. And I ended up doing $1.29 per mile. So I like to do at least $1.20 or more per mile for the whole shift. And I only did 4 orders. I mean, just unbelievable. I was out for 2 hours tonight. So, just amazing, guys. Like I said, I had one of my worst days on Thursday that I've ever had. And, I came back out, positive attitude. And, you just got to keep going and keep having keep setting your standards, and just keep plugging along. So, anyways, guys, I'm signing off here. When I come back up, I'm going to be going through doing a deep dive into the numbers for you, and we're concluded. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. What's up, guys? I'm back here with the shift wrap up here. So not too many orders to go through, but it was a really outstanding shift, and you're going to see some really outstanding numbers in here. And I would say the theme of this shift was positioning, and it's something that I've talked about in previous videos, and it is just key to, I think, the success. So you've got to position yourself well when you're picking an order. So looking at the miles, looking at the the money is one thing, but you've also got to look at where are you ending up and what is that putting you near, and how well is that going to get you in position to not just get orders but get quality orders. So anyways, the first order, as you know from watching the video, it started out really crazy with me accepting and then turning down, accepting and then turning down. Finally, I settled in on a Grub Hub order for a place called Pho Viet. It's a Vietnamese place. It's really good. I like it myself. I've tried it, but it's really excellent. But it started out with a $14.56 order, $7.28 base pay, $7.28 tip. Not bad at all. Now, the miles, of course, remember, that stacks on some of the miles that were coming in from the commute in. So on this particular order, just to get right down to it, it's not that impressive when you're looking at miles per dollars. It's not that impressive when you're looking at the miles to pay ratio. It's over 10%, and I'm always trying to get, like I said, your ideal order falls, under 5, but an acceptable range is 5 to 10 if you got to do it just to get aggressive, just to get things going. But my first order is always a little bit high. Now, that started at 5:58. That ended at 6:25 for a 27-minute order, and you can see my projected hourly was extremely strong, $32.36. Now, as I knew at the outset of this order, I was going to have to wait a little while, and I did, unfortunately. And that's just part of the the situation with this particular restaurant. Now, the next order I got, as you're going to see, did not come through for 25 minutes. Why? Because, again, positioning. Okay, so when I dropped this order off, I was in position. It took me to an area where I thought I was going to get good orders. But what I made a decision to do was, I said, I'm going back in the opposite direction. Some of you may disagree with that, and I understand why you would disagree with that, because, look, the numbers tell you to disagree with it. 10.35% miles to pay ratio on my next order, $1.12 cost, actual mileage cost on that order, and a 67-cent miles to pay ratio. But I needed to get back to where I knew I could get decent orders, so I took it on. And then you're going to see I kind of smoothed it out down here because I ended up with some exceptional numbers on my final 2 orders. I mean, it really was exceptional. And I ended up being in a position to end my shift a lot earlier than I expected. Well, not really a lot earlier than I expected. I made more than I expected in my 2-hour shift that I ended up doing. So once on this particular order, I picked it up. It was a Grub Hub order for Sakura, another Japanese restaurant, sushi place, $6.79 base pay. Not that strong of a tip, but it was okay. It was a $10.79 order. Unfortunately, it did take 16 miles. Now, I will say, when I got this order in the shopping plaza. So I want to say that this was not reflective. I had to travel about 9 miles back. So this was a $10 order for about 6 miles. So it really wasn't a terrible order when it's showing up on your screen. It's just to get in position to get that order, I had to travel mileage and I had to take on some dead mileage. Now we're going to see how that affects as an overall picture at the end. But it took 26 minutes. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of a wait time that was beyond the 5 minutes that I like to see them come in at. It was 8 minutes. It was my worst wait of the day. And actually, I believe it ended up being my lowest order of the day as well, because I believe, no, it was not. No, it was. Yes, it was. It did end up being my lowest order of the day. I apologize. So after that, I got done with that order at 7:16. It booked in at $24.90, so just under $25, where I like to see my orders project out to. I like to see them project at $25 or more at dinner time. That's just what I like to see. That's what I'm shooting for. And I think that's, if you do that, like I said, in this case here, I took on a few extra minutes because of the wait time. I would have seen this coming in right, right at $25 an hour or more, really. It was just unfortunately, the restaurant wasn't ready, and that's a common occurrence at this particular place. Now, after that, here's the nice part. You're going to see right here, and this is the sign that I had apps on. I turned my apps on, and again, I believe there's an ethical way to multi-app, and the ethical multi-apping. Okay, and what do I mean by that? What I mean is you are not stacking up orders in your car for multiple orders and going around in multiple directions. You're turning the apps off once you're on your way to the pickup, so you can focus on picking up the order and getting it to the customer. What I do, I will drop off the order as I'm going to the drop off. Normally when I'm within about 2 to 3 minutes, I will fire up the apps, and I'll start out with Uber or Grub Hub first, because they kind of tend to give you a little bit extra time. Plus, I know that Uber and Grub Hub tend to send the orders earlier, so you're going to have a little bit of wait time built in. And Grub Hub auto updates. So if you know it's a restaurant with a wait, they're going to start updating, and you're getting in trouble because Grub Hub will start sending you the warning text. But most of the time, Grub Hub is very, very good for doing multi-apping this way. And then if I'm not on DoorDash 1 minute before drop off. 1 minute before. And I do that because DoorDash, you got to stay out of trouble and stay out of contract violations. And I got burned a couple times, and you got to make adjustments. All right. So anyways, so you see here, I made this was a order that I was multi-apping on, and you see I accepted that order while I was on the way to deliver, or just about to deliver the other order. So you see I started that timer right at the same time that I ended it. And this was an amazing order. This was the most amazing order of the night. It was an Outback order. It came in at 10:51. It came in at 10:51. I mean, everything was amazing about the order, because when I got the order, it was, I was, I think it ended up being, it was like 10:51 for 7 miles. So I guess that really wasn't that amazing. But I ended up driving, well, I guess it was 10:51 for about 9 miles, because the mileage is correct on there, because I got it right as I was coming into the customer's house. Now, actually, I think it showed a little bit lower, because I had to go finish going in a different direction to get that one delivered. But anyways, needless to say, it was a good order, even on the outset, in my opinion, as a stackable order, and it was taking me back to where I needed to go. It was a $2.50 base pay, but here's where it got awesome, okay? I was showing an $8.01 tip. This customer ended up, because she asked me, she said, please make sure I've got lemons. And I said, sure, no problem. So when I pulled up, I talked to the guy, I said, hey, listen, I need extra lemons, please. Thank you. He said, no problem. He brought me out a container of lemons. When I show up, I was making the drop off at a truck stop that was like a half a mile from the Outback. Okay. So this just puts us in incredible context. I get to the truck stop. I pull up. She comes over. She's standing out front, and I wait and have a conversation. Hey, how you doing? She's like, don't worry about getting out of the car. I open the car door. I give her her food. I said, here's your lemons. I want to, I made sure to get this for her. She said, oh, thank you so much. She said, you know what? Hold up. She gave me a $10 cash tip, and then she turned around inside the app and gave me a $16.36 tip inside the app. Amazing. I mean, just unbelievable. Or $16, 36 cents tip in the app. Unbelievable. I could not believe it. The generosity of this lady. That ended up being a $28.80 order. It was the only one I had hidden tip in. And let's just go over what this did to the numbers of this order. So you're going to see, we had a $3.21 miles per dollar ratio. We had a 63-cent gas mileage cost. Miles to pay ratio, 2.18%. Brought that right in line. It was a 26-minute order, so that put us at a $66.60 an hour rate. Okay, there was only a 3-minute wait, so the wait time was perfect. This was a unicorn order if I've ever seen a unicorn order. It was amazing. It was exactly how you want every single one to go. Now, I was going to end it there because I was just like, wow, this is great. And then I got a $17 order heading towards the direction of my home. I call them go home orders. And I said, you know what? I'm having such a good night. Let's do it. And it ended up being a pretty decent order as well. It's for Primanti Brothers. I normally do not do Primanti Brothers, but I was in such a good mood, I made an exception and accepted the Primanti Brothers order. It was for Grub Hub, all right, and I accepted this as I was driving to the truck stop, and the Primanti Brothers was only like a mile from the truck stop, so it was really good mileage all around. Now, it ended up being 10 miles traveled because even though I only had like 1 mile to get to the restaurant, it took me 9 miles of my like 15-mile journey home. You see it was $1.79 miles per dollar. It was 70 cents actual gas mileage cost, 3.9% miles to pay ratio, which is right in where I want it to be. A 26-minute order, $41.35 projected hourly. All right. And for Primanti Brothers, it was already ready, man. That is unheard of for Primanti Brothers in my area. So it was just like luck was with me. And everything was just really lining up perfectly. So that's how I ended my shift. I did 4 orders for tonight, and I drove 56 miles. All right, I made $26.15 base pay, $45.98 in total tips, and then I made an outstanding $72.13. Now, I did 4 dashes, okay, 4 total dashes, and earned $32.79 an hour for the second day in a row. Just an outstanding day. I had a $58, well, no, never mind. We'll get into that in a minute. We did actual delivery minutes was 105 minutes for $41.22. That is outstanding. Okay. That's outstanding. That is, you want to be there. And again, that was just amazing. So just an overall great night. My dollars per mile came in in my opinion, very strong for the overall night, taking commute in and everything else since I start, at my house with Uber and Grub Hub on. $1.29. Average base pay, $6.54. Average tip was $11.50. I mean, there's not stronger numbers than that right there. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weak. Average per mile was 14 miles. That's still high, and that's something that, unfortunately, my area is very large. So, there's some things that just come with it. My average tips per mile was 82 cents, which is very strong. Average per minute was 55 cents per minute. I want 40 cents per minute. That's excellent, excellent, excellent. And look at this. This is excellent too. $18.03 per order. And my average wait time was under 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. I mean, everything in this shift was just lined up as perfect as it can go. I got done and got out. I got my final order done at, let's see here, 8:08. Okay, and worked 2.2 hours. Now my tax summary here, I ended up taking home, and again, you can see it's funny because it's like I had such a great shift, and where did my money come in? My money, I still come back to that really terrible shift. Now, I did work a lot more hours on that shift, but if you're looking at it, I earned a lot more money on this for 2 hours of pay and ended up at $56.90. Now, that's still over $25 an hour, or right near $25 an hour. I have to do the math on it to be certain, but that's still not bad. That is still a very good net income. And my after miles actual gas cost after you take the expense of gas, and I drive a Prius, so it's a lot less than other cars, $52.99. But I just think my tax rate this time ended up being 21%. So it's kind of, yes, there's wear and tear on the vehicle, and that is a tremendous amount that you can't put money on. But it is an interesting thing to look at. But I do understand, I think the wear and tear and the extra money you end up having to spend is going to outweigh saving a little bit of tax money sometimes. But, man, what a shift. What a great day. I appreciate you guys coming along with me. Just remember, this was about, like I said, this was about positioning and being in position and going back to an area that I knew. There were many shifts that I would have stayed out. I would have stayed out in what I call the wild. And I would have been around restaurants like Taco Bell and McDonald's during this hot dinner time. And, that's not where you want to be. That you might hang out there in the in-between. There's a video I have on the in-between, and that's what you got to sometimes figure out what you're going to do, whether it's Amazon Flex, maybe some Instacart, whatever, or if you're going to try to hang out and set a goal, a reasonable goal. $15 to $18 an hour on your in-between isn't unreasonable, and the in-between for me is 2:30 to 5:30. If I'm going to be out. Most of the time I leave and I got things I got to do during that time, and I use it, and then I come back in, not always at 5:30, but a little bit after, and then I'll go out for a couple hours and try to make some money. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to jump off here, but look, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, okay? Subscribe, please. I need subscribers here. I want to build a community. I want to continue building the community, contributing to the community, giving back, because YouTube helped me so much, and I want to help others. And be here to give a real look at how it goes out on the road, what's going on, the things I'm seeing, tips that I can add, real things that are working for me. Also, if you're interested in these sheets, as always, dad-13@gmail.com. Send me an email. I will send you the sheets. I would ask you to sub, but you don't even really have to sub. If you don't want to subscribe to my channel, that's fine, whatever. Take the sheets. Like I said, I'm here to help out. I'm willing to share. These really work well for me. These have helped me to hone in on what I need to do and to make more money. So I'm willing to share them, because that's what this is about. And in business, we don't have coworkers, right? We have each other on YouTube, and I can tell you right now, the networking aspect is so important, and that's what this is all about. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here and keep dashing, keep staying positive, and I will talk to you soon.